What is up, everyone? Doc Jake here with Athletes Potential. Now today, I want to talk to you guys about some various ways that you can train while you're in pain. Now, this is something that frustrates me to no end in the medical community. Still to this day, I'm having people come in and say, you know, a physical therapist or a chiropractor or some other healthcare provider told them to not move, or if it's painful when they run, to stop running. If it's painful when they lift, stop lifting. Sometimes that's a needed thing for sure, but most of the time it's not. Most of the time, especially with weight training in particular, there's ways that we can work around our pain that will inevitably increase our healing time, make sure you don't lose your gains. It's going to make sure that you don't lose a ton of strength, and also make sure that you can appreciate your mobility in the long run as well. Okay, so one of the things, so we've got our 5 listed up here, and I'm going to kind of go through what those 5 different variations are. Okay, the first one is going to be volume, flat out. So this is going to be if you've just started a new workout program, or you're increasing your workout program, and your shoulders are feeling a little hot. You may just need to decrease how much overhead position, or how many times you're going overhead throughout the week, or how many times you're really doing some shoulder heavy movements throughout that week. Give that tissue a little bit more time in between your workouts to actually be able to get a nice recovery in. And this could also be in the actual workout as well. We all have a certain tissue capacity point, whether it's your bones, your tendons, your muscles, your ligaments. There's a capacity point for every one of those structures. And if you're just doing too much volume in your workout itself that those tissues and that those structures just aren't ready for, your body's going to let you know. It's going to give you that check engine light, which is pain. All right, so that's volume. Range of motion. So this is going to be something with, so say you're squatting, and it hurts the front of your hip to go all the way down to the bottom of a position. So what I don't want you to do is never squat again, or not even for a little bit. I want us to still build that squat pattern, but there's different ways we can do it. So maybe go down to a box. Maybe go right up to that point of pain and back off by just an inch or two. It's pretty self-explanatory here. Or maybe you have a shoulder pain when you get down to the bottom of a bench press position. Do a floor press instead. We're going to get into that here in a second in terms of just different exercise selection. But we want to make sure that we are still moving in a certain pattern, but we don't always have to go into a full depth position if we're having pain with that movement. We can decrease our depth or our range of motion, limit that to a position that we can control, and then figure out where the missing links are and why we have pain at that position. It could be a mobility issue that we're working with. It could be a technique, or it could be a nervous system issue that we're dealing with. There's a bunch of different systems that we need to consider, but we don't have to lose our strength in that position while we figure that out. Okay, so just limiting your range of motion. Third thing, intensity. So this is going to be on a scale of 0 to 10. How hard are you working? 10 being you're maxed out. It's a 1 rep max if you're thinking about lifting. 0 is going to be you can do it all day long, right? If it hurts, if say we're working with a squat, and you can squat a certain weight level that is maybe giving you a 4 or 5 out of 10 on that 0 to 10 pain scale, or that 0 to 10 pain scale and 0 to 10 intensity scale. So say you're working say you can normally squat 225 10 times, no problem. But that gives you pain in your hip when you hit that high volume, not that high volume, but that high intensity level. And now we can actually drop our intensity level down and go to let's say 155 for 10 reps, and you're not going to have any pain. Great. Then that means that we're having some issues with, it could be mechanical, it could be physiological, just that volume for whatever reason, that capacity level just isn't there. But we can actually you can still do your squats, which are great, and it's great to move in that pattern, but you just have to decrease that load a little bit, decrease that intensity level. Okay. The fourth one, exercise type. So this is what I was kind of getting into earlier. If a full bench press hurts your shoulder, let's switch it up and just do a floor press, because that's going to limit your range of motion a little bit. If it hurts to go all up, if it hurts to go purely up overhead, and to say you're doing a push press or a jerk, then let's switch it up and let's do a landmine, or let's do a single arm dumbbell press, or let's do a kettlebell press. Different variations of the same movement pattern and a different exercise type. You'll be surprised at how well your body can adapt and do these different movements that may not be the exact movement that you're trying to get stronger with, but it's going to get that pattern stronger, so that when we are now out of pain and go back to that position, you're able to hit it a lot stronger and a lot more efficiently. Okay, and then my favorite one too, or the one that goes often misunderstood and or overlooked, is going to be the tempo. So this is something that I work with all the time with my patients. So if we're having pain with a deadlift position, okay? It could be that we just need to slow down that movement a little bit and quote unquote own that movement, right? If it's squatting, I might slow down that eccentric component a ton so that you really have to own that position, have better control throughout the entire range of motion, instead of just bottoming out at the bottom position and then not knowing why you have pain in the front of your hip. We can isolate that out and we can figure it out. And we can figure out where in that movement our mechanics start to falter. So there you have it, guys. 5 ways that are great at being able to allowing you to keep training, to keep getting strong, to keep getting mobile while you're in pain. So give those 5 techniques a try and let us know what you think. Thanks.